Hi, I'm Josh Williams, head MMA instructor at Ronin Training Center in Columbus, Ohio. Today I'm here with Melvin Harris. He's one of our amateur fighters and an up-and-coming stud. Today we're going to demonstrate some different techniques, a couple drills that we have our fighters do. Today what we're going to work on is some ladder drills. Now, if you have a ladder at home, that's awesome. One of these rope ladders that we've got right here. If you don't, all you really need would be a line on your floor. Now you could use like a piece of duct tape. You could maybe put a jump rope out, something along those lines. You just want to have some sort of a line that you can see as a point that you're reaching up to, okay? Now, the typical ladder drills that you see guys do is a guy stepping into the ladder, landing his strike, then working back and working side-to-side motion as he moves in and out, all right? We're going to add a couple different twists on that as well as the old typical stuff to work range control, all right? To where if this is the strike zone where I'm stepping in and this is where I'm making contact with my opponent, there's a lot that can happen before there. So where we can work double and triple jabs leading up, we can work feints before we get into the strike zone, but everything building to that point. So for the very first one, we're going to start off small. We're going to start off with Melvin in his stance back here. Strike zone. So this is essentially, we're going to call it kicking range. All right. From here, if I was standing in front of Melvin as his opponent, I can reach out, and if I don't take a step forward into that strike zone, I can't hit him. He can't hit me either. If he reaches out, he falls significantly short. However, he takes one step in, and now I'm eating the shots, okay? So the big point of this is we go from safety outside the strike zone to step in, land a shot, step back out, and he's going to take a side step to the next spot on the ladder. All right? Go ahead, Mel. Keep that rear foot planted as a step. Step with it. Good. Work your way back. Now notice when he's moving back to his right, when he takes that side step, he's stepping with his right foot, going the same direction. He doesn't want to step with his front foot first or he'd be crossing his feet. All right. So now, for the next one, we're going to work on essentially the same motion, but before he steps forward into that strike zone, he's going to throw a feint first. Now, it could be a foot feint, it could be a shoulder feint, but we're going to do something with the idea of we're going to freeze our opponent up for a split second, and while he's busy frozen, bracing down for the strike that he thinks is coming, we're going to step forward and hit him with the real one, okay? So, Melvin's feint comes before he steps into the strike zone, all right? Boom, feint moves forward. Feint moves forward. Here he's just doing a simple shoulder feint. The idea on every single one of these feints is that he's drawing the reaction before he steps into range to land his strike, to where his opponent freezes up temporarily and he has the opening. It also prevents him from being hit coming back. Okay, so the next part of this drill is you got the basic idea of Melvin's feinting, he's stepping into the strike zone, lands his shot, he steps back out of range. Now, the next most important part about this is it's not even necessarily that we've stepped in and landed our strike off with a feint, it's that when we go to reset our feet and move to the next spot, we hide that motion as best we can, okay? So what we're going to emphasize on the next one, Melvin's going to do the exact same drill, but when he comes forward, lands his shot, and he comes back, we're focusing on the smoothness of how quickly he can take that step to the side, come back in, quickly move to the side, feint, come forward, step back, side step quickly. It has to be smooth. We got to kind of camouflage the movements. All right, as close as he can make this seem to more of like a walking pattern, a very smooth style walking pattern, the better for us. We don't want it to look big. We don't want to look flashy. We don't want to look obvious. All right? Go ahead, Mel. His step is very subtle. It's very smooth. It's not an explosive step. Very economical. Side step, feints comes forward. All right, these are drills that you can work at home. The last one that we're going to show along the ladder, and like I said, we can use this with just a line on the floor if you're doing this at home, is the idea of closing space to get to your strike zone. So let's say that you're fighting a much longer opponent. He's trying to keep a distance away from you. If we were here, I'm taller, a little bit longer than Melvin, even though he's got some ridiculously long arms. He's still got a close space if I'm trying to keep it a far game, okay? So typically what we're going to work on is just closing it behind, like, say, a double jab. All right, so right now, if he just starts to throw his overhand, he misses me by a mile. Boom. All right, might get countered for it, he might not. But if he wants to hit me, especially knowing that my first defense is going to be to back away, then he's going to want to close in behind his jab. It may take 2 jabs, coming in, boom, boom, and then on the third one is where his jab hits, his third step, and then his cross. All right, but the point is, it takes him a couple jabs to get there first. So how we're going to work it here is, once again, the strike doesn't land until he steps into the strike zone. So we're working the double jab leading into it. So pop, pop, pop. All right? Let's do it coming down. All right? Keep that rear foot down. Good. Good. Put all 3 of them together. Pop, pop, pop. Good. You got to realize, in MMA, the most common defense is just going to be for that guy to pull away, back out of your strikes. So it's important that you've got to be able to follow in 1, 2, 3 steps before you land your shot on the guy. Good. Rear foot stays planted. Good. You notice each one of those steps, that rear foot comes with it. As much as his front foot steps, his rear foot follows. And that's going to be the ladder drill for today. All right, this is something we can work on at home. Just put a piece of tape up, work your way to the line, stepping across to land your strikes, backing out to safety, sidestepping to get offline.